The Cummins Unit houses Arkansas Execution Chamber. Arkansas executed 4 men in 2017, out of a total of 23 across the United States. Tamir Kalifa for the New York Times. 23 people were executed in the United States in 2017, the second lowest number in more than a quarter century, according to a new report from the Death Penalty Information Center, a Washington-based nonprofit. The number of prisoners executed has been dropping, save for a few small increases, since it reached a high point of 98 in 1999. The 20 executions recorded last year marked the lowest number since 1991. Also steadily dropping is the number of people being sentenced to capital punishment. The projected total of people who will have been sentenced to death this year is 39, one of the lowest annual totals since 1972, and second only to last year, in which a record low of 31 death sentences were handed down. All of this dovetails with changing public perceptions about capital punishment, said Robert Dunham, the executive director of the Death Penalty Information Center, which provides analysis on issues concerning the death penalty. The organization, he said, often criticizes the way the death penalty is practiced but does not oppose it outright. Gallup polls show that about 55% of Americans approve of the use of capital punishment. That number has generally been shrinking since 1994, when it was 80%. The death penalty has been criticized as being geographically arbitrary, and of being driven by the personalities of local prosecutors. Mr. Dunham said, pointing to 3 counties where nearly a third of this year's death sentences were imposed: Riverside County, California; Clark County, Nevada; and Maricopa County, Arizona. Certain states were also more likely than others to have executed people. Texas executed 7 prisoners this year, the most of any state. Arkansas was second, with 4 executions. Mr. Dunham pointed to Harris County in Texas, which includes Houston, as a place where attitudes appear to be changing. The county has executed more people than any other since the 1970s. But in 2017, for the first time on record, there were no executions and no new death sentences imposed. I think it symbolizes the change that's been going on in the United States, because you have this one county that is known for heavy use of the death penalty, and it has made a complete shift. Mr. Dunham said, "This is the first year in office for Kim Ogg, Harris County's district attorney. We don't pursue the death penalty at nearly the same rate as my predecessors, and that is a result of the changing times and the change in my own philosophy," Ms. Ogg said in a phone interview on Thursday. Ms. Ogg recalled working as a lawyer and occasionally seeking a death sentence during the 1980s when murder rates in Houston were very high. She said the recent decline in executions in the county was a result, in part, of lower crime rates overall, as well as a change in Texas law in 2005 that allowed for life sentences without parole. But she also said that she had taken a purposeful approach in deciding whether to pursue the death penalty in any given case, consulting with other lawyers in her office, meeting with the family members of homicide victims, and considering mitigating factors raised by the defense. Referring to the steady drop in public support for the death penalty, Mr. Dunham said many people seemed to be offended by episodes like the one in Arkansas this year, when the state tried to execute 8 men in 10 days because of an expiration date on a drug used in the lethal injection. It ended up executing 4 by botched executions, such as the one in Ohio last month, when a medical team could not find a vein to administer the lethal injection. He said that people's faith in the reliability of the justice system was also undermined by exonerations for death row inmates. The report said there were 4 such cases in 2017.